Boy, oh boy, that was an ugly game for Georgia Tech as they survived 36-34. As y'all know, man, I'm going to keep it 100% being with y'all and give my honest opinion and thoughts. This week, I was, riding Georgia Tech coattails. I was telling y'all, like, why I think they should be where they ranked at, how I felt it was disrespected. This game, obviously, a win is a win. Head coach Brent Key didn't look too happy after the game. But nonetheless, man, this is very concerning, I would say. But y'all know me. I'm going to talk about the good and the bad. I'm going to give, obviously, a glass half full approach instead of glass half empty. Now, half full approach to this is the offense is elite, bro. Haynes King is a Heisman candidate, right? 425 total yards in this game. I think he was 26-34. No turnovers, right? Did what he was supposed to do in this game. And obviously had the touchdown pass, right? So, he makes great plays when you need it the most, and he doesn't put his team in precarious situations where they can't claw themselves out of. So that's one positive. Two, this offense gained 628 total yards. I'll say that again, 628 total yards. They had 371 yards through the air and 257 on the ground, right? King had 53. Malachi Hosey obviously did his thing. He had over 100 plus yards rushing. And Jordan Allen obviously had his big scamper of 54 yards, but he had 65 yards on the ground today as well. So they did what they were supposed to do offensively. The concern offensively is red zone right now, right? They went 0 for 2 to start this game. Touchdowns from red zones to touchdowns, basically, right? They're having to kick field goals. You're not going to beat elite teams that way, right? You got to be able to punch it in, right? And sometimes I think they get a little too cute there, right? I think leaning on the tight ends a little bit more will really help them out, right? A Josh Beatham, a JT Byrne, a Luke Harpering, those kind of guys. Just anything simple like an RPO action with Haynes King, forcing the defense to think and splitting out one of your tight ends where you make them go, okay, you're going to cover the run or you're going to cover the pass. Just something to get the defense a little bit out of rhythm. I think they should start doing that in the red zone a little bit more, and I think they'll see better and yield better results. So that's a concern there. But the offense, even when the defense struggled, which we'll talk about here in a second, they continue to punch back. They continue to fight and work and fight and work. And that's what you want to see. And the explosives was there all day. And then, like I said, big games. And I said like a 100-yard receiver. They've had that in back-to-back games. And today they had two of them, right? You had Eric Rivers, who had a good game. He could even have even more yards today if the ball would have been placed just a little bit better. 7 catches, 119 yards. You did your job. Going back to Malik Rutherford, how about the return for him? Big-time game. 5 catches, 119 yards into the 71-yard touchdown reception. He balled. Obviously, big game for him. He stepped up big time for the Yellow Jackets, man. And obviously, he was dealing with injury and showed up big for them. So he was also elite tonight. And then I'll go offensive line. They don't get enough credit, but they did what they were supposed to do. Haynes King was protecting this game. He got sacked one time. He had all day back there to throw the football, man. Shout out to the offensive line, Malachi Carney, Keelan Rutledge, Joe Fusau, all them boys, man. They did what they were supposed to do in this game and helped lead them boys to victory. So they were phenomenal, and it's obviously this win. So offensive line also gets my game ball. Now, your biggest concern, if you coach Key right here, is your defense. Defense has not been cutting it lately, right? You let a 1-9 team, no disrespect to Boston College, they got pieces and weapons. You let them go for 567 yards of total offense. That's not good. 362 yards through the air, 175 on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for Georgia Tech, I don't know, because the committee wasn't respecting you going into this game, right? And they're going to probably frown upon even this win, even though you're 9-1 on the year, you've done what you're supposed to do. But defense has to get it together. And it's like, I'm not going to say they don't have any dogs, but like defensive line-wise, it's just not going to cut it. I got to keep that a bean, and they ain't going to cut it. They need to figure something out there. And I do want to credit them. They were playing Andre Fuller a little bit. I seen him getting into the game. It just seems like sometimes he reads the wrong thing as far as the gap schemes and stuff like that. But you need somebody to get after the pass. This is why, recruiting-wise, they're trying to go after some of these major guys, these 4-star, 5-star prospects, because they need dudes, right? You didn't get enough pressure today. Yes, Akilo Stone stepped up. He's a senior. He's going next year, right? Jordan Vandenberg had a couple good plays today, a couple TFLs. Those are really your best two players on the defensive line, right? And probably your best two defensive players on the team, right? They did what they were supposed to do, you know what I'm saying, tonight, and they did their job, right? But you're not getting enough pressure. And the problem is those are two defensive tackles, right? Where's the Jordan Boyds, the Braden Manleys, right? Amontre Bradford, AJ Hoffler, like, it's not getting it done. Like, you got to get some kind of creation and push. And a lot of it was they're going to talk about Blake Gideon, but I felt like he brought pressure in blitzes, right? But then again, they still gave up big plays. So it's like, what else are you going to do in that situation? You know what I'm saying? It's only so much you can do as a coordinator. So, yeah, they got to figure something out. And I don't know. I feel like you got to play some of your younger guys, but you get at a point in the season you're trying to win, so you're going to go with your veterans, right? But if your younger guys can provide a little bit more, if they can give you a little bit more juice, you might have to consider going with it, right? Because it's do or die time, right? And I feel like last year they at least had a couple guys that can get pressure, right? The Sylvan Yonjuans, right? The Romello Height, who's now at Texas Tech, is projected to be a first-round pick. They need something like that, man. They need some guys on that defensive line to help it out with the secondary. I don't feel like the secondary, I'm not going to say they're great or they're one of the top ones, but I feel like they're good enough for you to win games. But the problem is they're playing zone, they're out of position, and the middle of the field is always open. So whether that's a dig, a hitch, a crosser, every single time that play is open. So they got to do something different, and I think even disguise some of their coverages, right? Maybe give one look and then throw something else at them. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they play far too off. Like when they're playing, let's say it's like that one play, it was like they had got a TFL, 2nd and 12. They go and get 11 yards on the play because they're playing so far back on their zone, right? Just stuff like that I think makes the difference with Georgia Tech. And they need more guys to be able to do that. Tackling also has been a major problem. The Turbo Richards 43 yards scamper for a touchdown, right? Terrible tackling. You know what I'm saying? The one when Reed Harris went in for a touchdown, 2 missed tackles. Like, the tackling has not been good, you know, in the past few weeks, you know what I'm saying, for Georgia Tech. And they got to figure that part out. And I know everybody wants to come with the defense. Oh, well, we seen signs earlier this year. No, the defense was playing pretty good earlier in the year. However, the last few weeks, it ain't been cutting it. It ain't going to get it done. It ain't going to help you win games. You know what I'm saying? Your defense has to figure it out. If you go against Pitt, who's a way better offense than Boston College, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be an issue. Georgia, way better offense than both of them teams combined. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to play meaningful football, your defense has to be able to create some kind of stops, you know, and things like that. So that's the glass half empty approach. You know, defense got to figure it out. If you can't, like, I don't see Georgia Tech really going far. I believe in their quarterback. I believe in Coach Key. But defensively, they let them down the last few weeks, and it nearly cost them today in a potential chance to make obviously ACC championship game. And if you're Tech, that's where your mind has to be at, right? We got 2 more games left in ACC play, ideally, right? Let's handle business next week against Pittsburgh, who dropped the ball, obviously, against Notre Dame and got whooped today. But let's handle business. Let's punch our ticket to the ACC championship game and do what we're supposed to do. That has to be your hope if you're obviously Georgia Tech, because that's going to be your easiest way to get into a CFP playoff. Humbly, respectfully. If that's not the case, it's going to be hard for you to get in. And I think they got the offense to hang with anybody, right? They got the offense to hang with anybody. But when their offense can't get going, can the defense get stops? Now, they got a couple today. But it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? You can't be giving up that many yards to a Boston College team. So, very concerning win, to say the least, man. But a win's a win at the end of the day. You'll take it. You're 9-1. Everything's in front of you. 2 more games left in the year. Now it's just about handling your business and doing what you're supposed to do, right? And the best way to do that is lock in for this game. We'll know here, if not later on today, we'll know tomorrow what time the game is. It's likely going to be a nightcap game for Georgia Tech because they're more in the spotlight. You're going to have to handle your business. This is one of the biggest games in the head coach Brent Key era, right? And the reason it stamps your ticket to ACC championship game, right? You got rival Georgia that following week, you know what I'm saying? And you get to do this in front of your crowd, who has been awesome this season. 50,000 plus people have been coming consistently, or 40 to 50,000 people have been coming consistently to, obviously, Georgia Tech. And now you get to go and put it on for them, and you get a chance to win at home in front of your crowd with a chance to obviously clinch your ticket to an ACC championship game. It don't get no better than that on the flats if you're Georgia Tech and obviously you the players. So big week coming up, ugly win, but you'll take it. You pulled out of there with a win, and now everything is out in front of you. 2 more games, finish strong.